Been a while, everybody. So what's going on? All right, I have a new setup here, so I'm gonna be feeling around here a bit. I'm trying to do this on two computers as well, just in case I goof this up. Because I just set it up twice and it crashed on me multiple times. I have OBS running in the background. So what is up, everybody? I'm just coming out of the blue here, but I'm doing my traditional holiday DOE high school offer session here. So we're just gonna kind of chat a bit. So if you don't know, high school offers came out today. Let me just check to see that the stream is running, and you should have gotten your offer letter on My Schools. So a bunch of people got, a small number of people got their offers last night around 11 o'clock. There's always a little test run that the DOE does with that. And then it apparently York College, Queens High School of Science at York, sent out offers, I think around 12:30, and one or two middle schools also gave the students their offers. None of that was supposed to happen. Let's see, got Townsend Harris. Yeah, great. Nice Queens school. All right, so that means the stream is working. Is my volume okay? Because I have a brand new computer with a new setup here, so I'm kind of feeling around in the dark, if you will. Anyway, so the offers went out around 3:15 or so on. Everybody started getting them at that point. And so it should be true whether you did SHSAT 8 or SHSAT 9. You should all have your offers by now. They may not have sent you an email yet, because normally you get a heads up email that your offer is on My Schools. And if for some reason your internet is broken or your computer's broken, or you don't have internet at all, which means you're not going to be hearing this stream right now. If all that's true, you can also get your offer from your guidance counselor tomorrow. Okay, a lot of guidance counselors would have also handed out sealed envelopes when you left school today. So if you don't get that for some reason, or for some reason you open the PDF and it's gibberish or it's empty, try to figure that out. The only hint I can give you is if your PDF is valid and you can read it, read through the whole thing, all pages. And don't get skewed or upset or confused if you see it saying no offer, because sometimes there's something after that that shows that you have an offer, especially if you got something like a discovery offer. Okay. Thanks for your tutoring. Yes, your mic is fine. Okay. No problem. I'm passionate about this. I enjoy doing this. So here we are. So I'm just going to camp out here for a bit. Past years, we've done this for like 10 hours straight. Last year, I think something happened where I was going to redo it and I didn't end up doing it. So here we are. And I'm going to be popping back and forth between answering messages. As many of you know, I'm the moderator of our SHSAT, the SHSAT subreddit. So I'm going to be popping back and forth because I already responded to a couple hundred messages there. And I'm getting email from my own students. Yeah, I'm pretty fired up and happy. Last year, all my students got it except for one student. This year, I'm still only have half the feedback from my students, and so far, everybody got an offer, also except for one student. But I still have to wait for a whole bunch of students to email me back. And I know there's one mom who's waiting for the daughter to get home from school, and she's being very reserved, not looking up the offer herself. So, all right. So I know this is kind of a surprise stream. So let me see here. I'm going to load up the offers. Let's see here if I can do this on this computer. Let's see here. All right, is it going to be that thing there? Yeah, let's see here. I'm going to try to load the cutoff scores onto the screen. All right, just let me make sure I have the cutoffs. And we'll just do this dynamically. Let's see here. let's see. Let me add another image to this. Is this that one there? Let's see if that goes away. Okay, that is that. So let me make a copy of that. Or no, let me just add an image. Let's see if we can get this guy to fit in here. I'm not an OBS expert, but let's see. We're going to call this cutoffs. Let's see. Make sure it's visible. Let's browse for it. Into downloads. That's the cutoffs there. All right, so it's going to bring that up. Let's see if we can get that fitting on the screen. All right, so that is too big. Let's see, can we get that showing right? Let's squish it a little more. Is that all showing? No, it's not showing still. All right, we have to bring it back to that same size right there. Okay, there we go. So there's the cutoffs for the past 5 years for the SHSAT 8. And I'm going to load the stream on my other side here. Let's see, view and control panel. Let's see how we can do this. I need to. All right, let me just bring it up. I'm going to exit it though. So let's see. You used to let me fire this up. I haven't done this in so long. Is it that edit key? It might be the edit key. Let's see here. Nope, that's not it. There's a way to share this. I can't remember. That must be up here. Yeah, share is going to be that. So I'm going to copy that there. I'm going to get out of this. Okay, let me see if that works. And how we doing here with this? Because I'm just going to keep going back and forth to all these different things. All right, yeah, it's showing on the screen. Do I have volume here? Testing 1, 2, 3. Okay, let me see if that works. Okay, yeah. All right, please like and subscribe. And how we doing here with this? All right, I'm going to exit out of this actually, since I don't want to hear myself talking. All right, so for anybody in here, how y'all doing? All right, I think it's set up, and like I said, I'm going to keep answering messages I'm on Facebook, I'm on email, I'm on SHSAT, so I'm going to just keep bouncing back and forth while I'm monitoring this guy thing here. Is Boone still there? Do you live in Queens? Or are you going to commute to Townsend Harris? And I didn't do many live streams or even regular streams this year. I did a few the past 2 weeks or whatever on a lot of SHSAT poetry. Hey, how you doing? How'd you make out? I don't think I saw any of your messages from what I was scrolling through before. Maybe I did, but I just read a couple hundred messages. So we're here to talk about the high school offers and the specialized high school offers. Even if you're the only one here. And of course, you guys have to April 5th to accept your offer. It doesn't matter if it's a specialized high school or a non-specialized high school. And again, make sure you're reading your letter in full, because you may have gotten a specialized high school offer and no other high school offer, right? There's 3 categories of offers you can get. You can get 1 offer from a specialized high school, up to 1. So you can get 1 or 0 specialized high schools. You can get a general high school, up to 1 offer of that. And then you can get an offer for every program in LaGuardia. Right, and I think there's 6 of them. So technically you can get 8 offers maximum. There's also the scenario where if the DOE can't give you a regular high school, but you get a specialized high school offer, they make it that's your offer, because when you think it through, you requested a specialized high school. So if they can't find a non-specialized high school for you, for that alleyway of you, or that line in the highway, right? So there's 3 groups on the highway: specialized high schools, non-specialized high schools, and LaGuardia, right? So the logic is, if you did well enough on the SHSAT to get an offer for a specialized high school, but didn't get the generalized high school, then by default, you will automatically be accepted into your specialized high school choice. And you do nothing, all right? That's surprising to a lot of people. And there is a small number of people who do not get a regular high school as one of their choices. So it's definitely confusing. Now you're a G. Well, oh geez. You know what? This is a very complicated, confusing thing. I'm a grown adult who has gone through this with my own children and helped really hundreds of people at this point, and it's ridiculously complicated. And I can't imagine some of you guys doing it just being in 8th grade, and many of your parents don't speak English and things like that. It's just mind-blowing. And to me, that means you guys are all legends. And many of you are so determined and so solid in your rigor and stamina and your determination and stuff like that you guys are definitely all legends. You guys are definitely G's. You guys are OGs, you're goats, you're everything under the sun, right? So that's important to note as well. All right, I'm seeing a lot of things in the SHSAT about people wanting to transfer. You can do transfers, but kind of now is not a good time to do a transfer, because this is the time for admissions. Do you think Brown Science is better than Townsend? Whoa, that's a great question. They're both super schools. It's like asking, well, it depends on what you like, but if you like chocolate and you like ice cream, it's like, what do I pick, chocolate or ice cream? And obviously, the answer is ice cream with chocolate stuck in the middle of it, right? So we can't do that here. Now, that said, Brown Science means it's obviously a STEM school. It's more technical, right? On the flip side, Townsend Harris was basically established as a liberal arts humanities school, right? So those are the two kind of things there, that if you kind of want science, you should lean to Brown Science, and if you want the humanities, lean to Townsend. But, and there's a giant but here, the level of humanities instruction at Brock Science is really good. And you could do stuff like, one anecdotal way to think about that is the SAT scores for the Brock Science students are really good. Okay. On the flip side, Townsend Harris has strong math classes and also offers stuff, I'm pretty sure, computer science and some other stuff like that. So certainly has elective classes, not particularly as a major. So what it comes down to is, even though both schools, Brown Science leans on math and science and Townsend leans on humanities, they're both also good at the other thing. So, for instance, the example I just gave was look at the ELA score of the SAT of the Brown Science students. Well, if you look at the math SAT score of the Townsend Harris students, they're top notch. So they're both great schools. You have to write out a list of pros and cons and do it for you. I mean, if you live right across the street from Brown Science, then even if you don't really want strong science, it might still be the school to go to, right? So you want to consider commute. I would suggest going to both of their websites and looking at their course catalogs, they're both going to have a list of electives that they have, right? Every school has Algebra 1, Algebra 2, Geometry 1, those kind of things. So what we want to look is the extra classes. How many AP classes do they have? And what are they, right? Stuff like that. And then sometimes they have weird electives. Like I went to Brooklyn Tech and I loved the kind of weird, I took metallurgy classes and I took classes on tensile strengths of wood and things like that. I love that kind of math and science. So it wasn't that I didn't like to write and didn't like humanities per se, because at Brooklyn Tech, we studied Homer, we studied Shakespeare, I had a class just about China, right? A whole semester class about China. So all that kind of needs to come into play in your choice. So I would strongly ask you to go through the course catalog slowly. Don't just load the PDF and go like, really look at it and kind of make a list of the classes that you would want to end up taking. Now, remember, you need certain scores sometimes to take an AP class on some of these electives. But at least try to do that balance, and at least you have a goal at that point. And then look at the requirements for taking some of those classes, because some of them you need to take a placement test to get into the class. All right, so there's things like that. What do I do now that I didn't get accepted, but I have another chance in 9th grade? Well, first of all, you're going to have to go somewhere. So you're just going to have to make the best of things for whatever that is. There's an interesting thing that happens with students who ask that kind of question is once they get to because I can understand you might be disappointed or something like that, but once you get to the bad high school that you got accepted into, it turns out a lot of students actually like it. You're going to start making friends. You're going to make the best of it, and it may turn out to be the best thing in the world that ever happened to you, right? Remember, specialized high school, it's not the end of the world. It's only another high school. It's not even college, right? Is it a nice experience to be in a specialized high school? Of course, but it's a nice experience to be in a lot of high schools, right? The person above you just posted about getting accepted into Townsend Harris. That's not a specialized high school, but it's an awesome, awesome school. There's Eleanor Roosevelt, there's Beacon, there's the Bards, there's Millennium, there's James Madison, there's this Murrow, there's Midwood, there's just high schools all over the place. Yes, a lot of them are horrible, but a lot of them are not. So, and remember, just kind of what I was saying a minute ago, I don't know when you joined the session, but, it's still the state requirement that you still have to take English. You still have to take social studies. You still have to take gym. You still have to take algebra 1 and 2. You still have to take some science classes, right? You still have to take the English Regents. So the core classes is going to be the same in every high school. And even some great high schools, it's not always about the teachers. It's about the student body as a whole as well. So anyway, in terms of that, if that's your goal, you need to start going for it at this point, right? It's March. April, May, June is the end of school. July, August is the summer. September, October, November. So we have 7 months or something. So you should start planning that out. How are you going to prepare for SHSAT 9? And by the way, I'm a tutor, right? So and most of my students get offers. My offers for this year didn't come in all in yet, but last year, out of a few dozen students, all my students except for one got a specialized high school offer. And that's true. I also tutor for other exams, so it's true of that. So my success rate is 99% of UL, all right? I feel behind subjects and stuff. How do I prepare this time? I would have to kind of really sit down with you to see what that means, but more generally, you probably know from your classes which subjects you're weak in. You also probably know from doing the prep for the SHSAT which topics really bashed you about. Maybe it was geometry. Maybe it was poems. Maybe it was main idea, right? Maybe it was select topics like percents. So you kind of probably already know a lot of that without doing anything. So from there, you can go to IXL.com. You can go to KhanAcademy.com. Stuff like that. There's resources like that all over the place. plus all the SHSAT workbooks. I'm assuming you went through some of those already, but like Kaplan's workbook has a lot of drill down sections. Tutor's book has a lot of drill down sections. Princeton Review has like 200 pages of review material. The Barron's book also has something like 100 pages of review material. So it's imperfect, but the resources are there, and you can kind of pick them up into there, right? Okay. And remember, part of this is your own personal determination and rigor and stuff like that. So if you set your mind to it, you can get there. Now, that all said, remember the SHSAT 9 is a lot harder than the SHSAT 8, and there's less seats. So for the 8, you have like 25,000 kids shooting for 4,000 seats. So for the 9, there's less students who shoot for it, maybe 3,000 or 4,000, but there's only 100 seats. So you have a harder exam for 100 seats. So the dynamics is completely different. Plus, there's the new material. SHSAT 9 has additional math material and ELA material on top of it. So you can have longer passages. You're going to have more stuff involving, a polynomial or deeper geometric figures and stuff like that. So that's all you need to think about and so on. What do I do? Is there anything else? Is there anything else we need to do after accepting our offers? So first of all, I would wait a day or two just to let it absorb it and celebrate, or whatever the case may be. Once you click accept, you have until April 5th. So I would not just click accept and then just go on my merry way. I would make sure in the beginning of April, like April 1st, that what you clicked on is still what you think you clicked on. Because sometimes the DOE doesn't process it, and it appears like you didn't click on anything. So I would definitely do that. At the same time, some of the high schools are doing open houses. So that's built into my schools now, I think, that if you get accepted, it'll show you the open house for the school you got accepted into. All right. I also have a list of the open houses for at least the specialized high schools on the SHSAT as well. So there's that. And then also you should just, enjoy the rest of 8th grade and do the best you can. Because remember, the stronger you can end 8th grade, the easier the beginning of high school is going to be. In fact, that's part of what the SHSAT accomplishes. So if you took the SHSAT and all that studying, that's going to help you have a smoother high school experience. Okay, so there's things like that. I feel behind. I'm repeating this, but I get that feeling. But again, if you isolate the topics and areas and concepts that you feel you're weak on, that's your starting plan. I've done a couple hundred hours of YouTube videos, most of them live streams. There's one about an 8-week study plan for the SHSAT. I would find that if I was you. In fact, I probably I could find it, but you could find it as well. Just go into GregsTutoringNYC YouTube site and then just search for 8-week study plan, or just week study plan, and it should bring that link up. It's also related, so I want to pinpoint that because not only does that video lay out a study plan, but I have a whole conversation involving how to think and how to study and all these other things. Relating to that, I also have a SHSAT workbook video. And that also doesn't just talk about the workbooks. It talks about what you're going to use the workbooks for and how you're going to study. So I would suggest that 8-week study plan video and the workbook video, and it's going to be like an hour and 50 minutes altogether. So yeah, you have to sit there and listen to me yap, but I think it'll be helpful, and it'll kind of tap into the emotional and confusion thing that you're pinpointing here. Hello, can I find this information on the DOE website? Which information? What information are we talking about? The DOE website has a lot of information, by the way. Extraordinarily amount of large information. If you go to, let's see, I have, let me try to do this here. Let's see, that's that. I'm going to try to post the link from this other thing here. So if you go to GregsTutoringNYC.com, let's see here. I have a whole bunch of links, including to the DOE website. And I have a little tool I wrote. Okay, here it is. All right, so give me 2 seconds to load this stream up on my other computer, and I'll post it into the chat. All right, let me turn up this. Is it bringing up the chat for me? Okay, yeah, there's the chat. Wait, it's not giving me a prompt. Wait, am I logged in? Let me see, give me 1 second. I don't think it thinks I'm logged in. No, I'm logged in. Like and subscribe, by the way, people, while I'm doing this. Let's see, why is it not letting me? Oh, there it is. Okay, hold on. I had to scroll up. Okay, give me 2 seconds. I'm going to post the link. Okay, I'm going to post a link that has a whole bunch of links on the DOE website. Okay, it's a little tool. You load it, and it gives you a whole bunch of buttons. You can click on different areas to it. All right, so I just posted that. Random question, but what is your biggest regret from high school? I don't have one. I went to Brooklyn Tech. I absolutely loved it. Some people would probably have regrets that I don't have. One of the biggest obstacles I had was that I lived in Rockaway, and it could take me up to 3 hours to get back and forth from school, one way. But I liked the school so much that it really wasn't an obstacle. I guess, too, because it was a commuter school, even though I had friends, when I got back home, my friends weren't there. But my friends where I lived were kind of really proud of me, and they would always tell people like, I was very shy at the time, but they would be like, if we met somebody, I don't know if we were playing basketball with somebody or whatever the case may be, Greg goes to Brooklyn Tech. Like, they were very proud of that I went there. So, I don't think there was really anything I was disappointed about or that I regret about the school. It was a great experience. I met people that were amazing teachers, amazing building. I love the building. I love going back there, although I haven't been back there now in about 10 years. My daughter also went there and graduated, so it was really an enjoyable experience to go to parent-teacher conferences and the graduation and things like that as well. So I don't really have a regret about high school. It was just a wonderful experience for me. I'm a geek. I am a nerd. I love math. I love science, and that was my school. And because of the majors, Tech has majors. I didn't want to go to Bronx Science or Stuyvesant at the time. As you can see, I'm not 20 years old. So when I took the SHSAT, was literally 50 years ago, 50 years ago. There were only 3 specialized high schools: Stuyvesant, Brooklyn Tech, Bronx Science. My father was a guy who tinkered around as well. He did electronic technician stuff involving repairing telephone systems and stuff like that. And I thought that was awesome. And he told me about the 3 specialized high schools, and I was like, Dad, that's where I want to go to. And that's exactly what I did. And we talk about matching schools, matching you. I didn't just go there because it was a good school. I went there because it had things I wanted to do and know, right? So for me, I was like a pig in mud, right? So, yes, the cutoff scores are on the screen. So the last column there that says 2024, that's this year's cutoff scores. Okay, the other years are the other years. I do not have the SHSAT 9 for this year. I'm going to foil that and get that from the DOE as well. So I should have that in about a month, I hope. Let's see how long it takes them. They don't like providing information. They are not transparent. But all these numbers here are official. They're all legit numbers. They're not made up. They're not crowdsourced. These are the exact historical numbers from the past years. Okay? All right, let's see what else we got here. Thank you. Damn, that's something good. I can't see what that says. YouTube is throwing a heart in front of that. Let's see. Damn, that's... I don't know what that says. It's wiggling. Really good. Yeah. And I suppose this is the essence of why some people kind of get upset and stuff, because at the same time, it's important to note, like, I have a twin sister. At the time, she went to our local high school. She loved it there. It was for her. And she has a really successful career. She's not a nerd like me, but she does what she does, and she does it very well. So she should have no reason to be annoyed or angry at me because I went to Brooklyn Tech, and vice versa. I have no reason to be annoyed at her or put her down or anything, because we both did exactly what we wanted to do. And you could argue, oh, her high school sucked. No, it didn't suck. It was a local high school at the time. By the way, at the time, the notion of magnet schools and specialized this and that, it didn't really exist. By default, you went to your local school, your local elementary school, your local middle school, your local high school. And there was none of this stuff where you commuted hours, unless it was Brooklyn Tech, Bronx Science, or Stuyvesant. Right? Otherwise, you almost always went to your local high school. And because I lived in Rockaway, this was, what was it called? What was the name of the high school? Anyway, it was one of the kind of initial magnet schools because it established an oceanography kind of a thing. So because it was right by the water, I can't think of the name of it. It's not that great a high school anymore, but when it first opened up, again, like 50 years ago, it was pretty top-notch for what it was offering. So, and again, that was for her. I didn't want to do oceanography. I didn't want to do normal stuff. I wanted to do math and science. So it's not about a school sucking or not being good all the time. It's about what do you want and what is the fit. Are you good for the school, and is the school good back to you, right? So that could be your local high school. Again, my twin sister is the perfect example. Her life was not destroyed because she went to a local high school. Her life was not disrupted. Her life was not horrible because she went to the local high school. In fact, her life was great and fantastic because she went to our local high school. So I guess it's Beach Channel High School was the name of it. Now it's popping on my mind. And that's why, sometimes your fate, we're talking about destiny and fate. Sometimes things are the way they are for a reason. And it might sound like, Greg has got these great opportunities and all these other things. No, not really. So Brooklyn Tech is one thing I think that was valuable and important and that I'm proud of through my life. But there's so many things that happened in my life that were disappointing. And you just can't break down every single time something bad happens. And the weird thing about something, quote, bad happening, and I'm putting it in quotes because it's not always bad. Sometimes the best thing that can happen to you is not get something. You see this with actors and singers and stuff. Like, they may not get a job in a movie. And that's disappointing. Like, I went on this interview. I did this reading of the script and all this other stuff. And they're like, oh, man, I'm mad. I didn't get it. But no, 2 months later, they got another offer, and they end up getting millions of dollars, and they win the Academy Award and all this other stuff. So on the surface, something can seem wrong. On the surface, something can seem disappointed. But in the long run, it doesn't have to be. In the long run, it works in your favor sometimes. So destiny and fate are weird things, and things are what you make of them as well. Should you fail because you just go to a mediocre high school? Should you not still challenge yourself, even if you go to a mediocre high school? Like, how is that holding on to your own bargain, right? You're yourself, right? You're not just a good student because you have good teachers. You could have the worst teacher and still be the best student in the school, right? So that's up to you as well. Of course, it would be nice if you're a good student and have great teachers. But the world doesn't work that way. And it's the same when you're going to go get a job. You can have somebody who's a jerk, and you can have this and that. You're going to work on a product that doesn't work all the time, and yada, yada. It's the way things go, and you just have to accept it and be comfortable with that. And I can also say that I've had a lot of failures in my life, and those are always learning opportunities. Right, and it sounds cliche. You can learn more from your failures than your successes, but it's true. You can learn from both, right? So that's what life is about, learning stuff. So let's see if we have any other questions here. No, there's no more questions. All right, because I feel like I'm starting to preach here or something, but I don't want to do that. All right, any other questions? And by the way, it's okay to feel disappointed and feel angry today and feel like you need to vent, because that's a natural human reaction to stuff. It's just the way it goes. But like I said earlier, I find a lot of students like, oh man, I didn't get into XYZ, and then when September happens, by the time October rolls along, they're like, oh man, this place is great. Yeah, because you kind of viewed it on paper. I also believe that a lot of you are picking these schools without actually realizing what they are. You can't just pick a school because everybody says it's good. You have to pick a school because it's for you. And you have to pick a school, like I said earlier, about whatever that example is. Look at the course catalogs. Actually see what the school is offering and see if that's what you want. And it's the internet. You guys have total access to the internet. So there's no reason that you can't or shouldn't do that. All right? All right, I'm going to check some other messages here because I got caught up in this conversation. Let's see here. And I'm going to kind of keep going in and out during this conversation, even though I'm talking to myself. And some of you are going to get a specialized high school offer and a general high school offer as well. So those are things you need to balance off. And, some of you might be disappointed not getting any offer, but some of you have a good challenge because you might have two schools that you don't know how to pick. The person before was mentioning between Townsend Harris and Bronx Science. That's a problem because you have two great schools that you now need to choose from, right? So there's always issues and things like that. And by the way, you guys can talk amongst yourselves as well. Because I got like 50 messages here to try to scroll through. I got emails, I got Facebook, I got SHSAT, and I got some other stuff too. I got people texting me. Actually, I should look at that because it might be some students. Somebody's waiting. What does this say? Okay, I got 2 students accepted into Discovery, which is odd. This year I've had the most students ever who ever got into Discovery. There's been many years I never had Discovery students, and this year had a few students who were in the Discovery program, which is weird. I'm in the ebbs and flows. I had a lot more SHSAT 9 students this year, which I like. I'm going to push to try to get more SHSAT 9 students because it's more challenging and it's a great experience. Um, all right, let's see these people here. There's too many messages today. That's a problem. You going in there? Okay. All right. Actually, I'm thinking too. Somebody wants me to go to a dinner in Manhattan, and I'm too bogged down with this because even if I end the live stream, I've been up since 6 o'clock this morning chugging away on all this stuff. So let's see here. Like and subscribe. Hit that like button. Smash that like button. All right. Any other questions? Any other statements? Any other thoughts? You can vent. You guys can vent. Right. Remember, part of getting through the exam and these kind of things is the psychological component. That's always huge. Social, emotional kind of things, they always come into play. So we have to bounce around with those kind of things as well. Yeah, just by the way, remember, whatever your offer is, don't get mad at somebody else who got an offer. I get it, you're disappointed. At the same time, those who got the offers, my advice is don't go around being arrogant and cocky about it. Be thoughtful of everybody. This is just relating to what I said. This is definitely an emotional point in time. Not only is the excitement of something like today, but your guys' hormones and stuff are freaking out, and things like that. So just cherish the moment, whatever it is. Try to spend the day tomorrow and the weekend with your family, and try to figure this out. That's why I'm even saying, even if you got a great option, don't click accept yet. Let this sink in, and keep exploring stuff. So that you guys can, be able to bite it off and kind of process it, if you will. All right, because either way, some of this is shocking. Just gone through 100 messages where students were like, "I didn't think I was going to get it at all," and then they got the the thing, and then there's the whole shebang where the offers are based on lottery numbers and all these kind of things like that, right? So, all right, I see somebody posted something, so give me 2 seconds. Coming away from the actual exam itself, what can I do to aid others with how they are feeling towards their score? Do you mean on test day or like now? Because you're saying the actual exam itself. So test day is also emotional. And again, if you can reel in your emotions through this whole process, you can manage better. I was just watching something with chess yesterday. There was a chess tournament in Prague. I think that's part of Czechoslovakia, and you could see people freaking out. Well, you're going to get surprised sometimes both ways. So let's just take the SAT, for example. If, say, the cutoff score was 500, and you thought you got many questions wrong, and you figured, okay, I'm going to get like a 450. So then you're like planning that, oh man, okay, I kind of accepted it. You had a few months to accept that you probably may have messed up. And then all of a sudden you get the offer today and you get a 550. And you're like, "Phew," right? Your head explodes. Like, I thought I got a 450 and I got a 550. Oh my God, right? But it could also go the reverse, where because the exam is so hard and challenging and deceptive, right? The exam is based on thinking and it's based on novel questions. So it's easy for a question to fly over your head without realizing that you made a mistake. So, for instance, you could do the 57 math questions and think, oh, well, I only got 5 wrong. And you can almost justify that by saying, like, what if they were all the field questions? If they were all the field questions, then you got a perfect score on the math section, right? But the real world, it doesn't work that way. So you can get kind of played both ways. And I noticed this on test day as well, that a student might leave after testing hysterical crying. Oh my God, I messed up. I'm stupid. And they end up getting over 600. And then this kid's walking out saying, I don't know why he's crying. That was easy. And they end up getting a 500, right? So there's all this thing going back and forth. But that's why you're prepping. Prep is really important to all this. And not just test questions. You need to go through a journey and a process here, right? And it's almost some level of maturity for your age. I'm not saying you should be mature enough to be an adult or whatever, or I'm not saying you're immature like you're a 2-year-old. That's not what I'm really saying here. But, life is a roller coaster. I say you go to the ticket counter, you buy a ticket, and you enjoy the ride. So the roller coaster is going to go up and it's going to go down. Sometimes you're going to be screaming, and sometimes you're going to be laughing, and sometimes you're going to be like, why am I on this roller coaster at all? Right? And that's the way it goes. And I also believe that the ups in your life are important to counteract the downs in your life. And if your life was only just ups, it would actually kind of be boring. Right? So that dichotomy, that contradiction almost creates like a dramatic effect that's important in your life. And it's also important to consciously think about it so that you're choosing a strategy to go through stuff, right? And I also think there's a lot of students, and I don't know your context, but a lot of students just sit down with the SHSAT workbook, and their feat for doing this SHSAT prep is just doing as many practice exams as possible. I think that's a big mistake. And I notice a lot of students don't get good scores because of that. Okay. I also notice a lot of students, the largest source of errors that I detect is silly errors. And even my brightest students, when they start with me, they'll get all the hard questions right. And the 20 easiest questions they get wrong. And it's because they're not thinking strategically and giving the right attention to detail to stuff. So that's solving it up front, right? You're asking how to solve it at the end afterwards. I'm trying to give you ideas of how to circumvent the whole thing in the first place, right? But it could be frustrating. Life is frustrating sometimes. At the same time, like I said, the best thing that may have happened to you was not to get an offer. Because where you end up might be great. Maybe you'll end up getting a girlfriend who you marry. Maybe you'll meet people who are lifelong friends. Maybe you'll see a teacher who's just so great, even though the school as a whole might not be the best school in the world, right? So what we need to do is pull out of our experience the parts that are important for us, right? So the act of being disappointed, I get it. I get disappointed about a lot of things. A lot of things in my life have been horrible, even catastrophic, right? So, but you need to get past them. And you can get depressed, you can get sad, you can get angry, all those things. But there's another part of it, like you can cry over spilled milk to eternity. Meantime, the milk fell on the ground and it's gone. It went down the drain at that point. So the healthy thing is to stay positive and just try to move through it. All right. So, and you guys should also learn stuff which ties into your test taking strategies, like how to breathe, how to relax yourself. Maybe if you're pissed off today or whatever, maybe you should have gone for a walk, or maybe playing basketball relieves some of your stress. Or boxing. A lot of people do boxing just to, or even taekwondo and stuff like that, just to get rid of that energy, right? And it's not taking it out on your family. It's not taking it out on your friends. It's not even taking it out on yourself, right? So we all get frustrated and stuff like that. So, but sometimes you could, do yoga. meditate, breathe slowly, right? Things are not as bad as they seem. There's also a thing that happens where we all do this. Sometimes we're our own worst enemies. Where even stuff like, oh, my friends are laughing at me. Oh, I think I'm ugly. Oh, I walk funny. Oh, I'm stupid, right? And nobody thinks that except for you. So that's important too, to kind of put things in the right context. In a way, our own brains are our own bullies sometimes, and to certain extents. So there's all that. That's, I could probably talk for hours on this, but I'll pretty much leave it at that. Um, so I mainly spoke about helping yourself, but that means those same ideas you could help somebody else. So if you see somebody sad, you know what? Just talking to them can help. You don't have to talk about the exam. Or remember, sometimes people just want self-validation. When somebody's sad, they don't want to hear, hey, cheer up. Be sad with them, right? If somebody's grieving, you don't be like, okay, the grieving process is over. That's not up to you. That's up to them, right? So what you have to do is take their signals and respond to their signals and be empathetic and sympathetic, but not be a phony, right? That kind of a thing. And by the way, that's a good friend when you do that. Yeah, what do you think of through when you really go push to shove, and this is maybe getting super philosophical or Zenish or something like that, but at the end of the day, what matters? Your family. That's it. And your family could be your friends or your actual blood relatives. It could be family like your girlfriend, something like that, right? So, or your boyfriend, or whatever terms are being used these days about something like that. Just good friendships and stuff like that. And at the end of the day, sure, education's important. Sure, money's important. Having certain things like a nice house and a reasonable car and stuff like that. That's great. But at the end of the day, you know what matters? Love. I know this sounds corny, but at the end of the day, the strongest thing we have is love. And it's one of the weapons we have as well. We can arm ourselves with love. Just listening to somebody sometimes can be like the most beneficial thing in the world. Just let them hear them out. Don't argue with them. Don't contradict them. Just go, yes, I get it. I get it. Say more, right? Just letting them work it out, right? And giving them the same kind of ideas. And it doesn't even have to be talked to them. How about we both go to a movie, right? You might say, how could a movie be helpful? Well, it can be, because you're doing this thing with a human experience with two people together. Or you might say, how about we both join a running club, right? Running is very important to release your energy. And you guys, there's certain things that happen in sports. You may have heard of runner's high. When you're running for a certain amount of period, your body kind of reaches this homeostasis kind of level where you become one with the running kind of thing. Again, it sounds Zenish, but there's stuff like that. So the person can be frustrated, but release that energy. And, time heals as well. Time doesn't heal 100%, but time heals. Because people can work stuff out, and you want to avoid arguing with them and all that kind of stuff like that, right? Good behavior, if you will. And it can get frustrating because the person you're trying to help may not even realize that they might be lashing out back at you, right? And at the same time, if you're trying to help somebody, that can't be all you do, right? You can't help somebody for 10 years. That's gets monotonous, it gets boring, and then that would actually destroy the friendship. So you need to balance that out and respect each other. The person has to respect you're helping them, but your whole life just can't be helping them. You have to realize, too, that helping somebody to certain levels can get you sick. So if you're sick, you can't help them anymore. So maintaining that balance, and we taught this back to the SHSAT and studying stuff like that, right? It's important that when you're studying, that you're also playing games, that you're also meeting friends, that you're also doing sports, that you're also reading a book, that you're also sometimes just going to a park and sitting on a bench and staring, right? That you need that relaxation and balance things out for yourself. All right. speaking of going overboard, I'm done with this conversation. All right. So, any other kind of questions? And let me I stopped checking the messages again. So let's see here. Let me bring this over here because I don't want that to end. All right, there's a long message there. I'm going to leave that to read later. Okay, that guy is just done. Wait, somebody sent me a message here. Let's see. Let's see. The good news is that those are both lower numbers. The bad news is that some schools' numbers barely move, or when they do, could be way into August. Yeah, so somebody is sending me a message, presenting me with two choices they got on a wait list, because wait lists are open. By the way, if you guys want to get on wait lists, now is the time to do it, because the automatic schools you were wait listed on, they're already set, and anything else you want, you're going to get put at the end of the queue. So if you're considering a wait list at all, today, right now, this second, leave the stream and put yourself on the wait lists. That's important to do. Anyway, somebody's has the numbers are basically under 100, and my response basically is it really depends on the school that you're looking for, because some wait lists, if you're 50, it'll never move. Right? You might say there was only 50. Well, some schools don't take wait lists at all, and some move very fast. And then obviously, and we're not talking about being like position 2,000 on the Townsend Harris wait list, right? That is really not going to happen. But if you're, maybe 20, you might have a shot. But what you have to do is go to my schools and look to see what they said about it last year. My schools used to not have this information, but last year they added the information about how the waitlist things are being processed. So there's data there you can use to try to make sense of how practical is it that you can get an offer. So for argument's sake, if they processed 100 students last year for school XYZ through the waitlist, and you're position 50, most likely they're probably going to process 100 again this year. So you have to look through it and try to make sense of it and make that judgment call, right? And by the way, if you get a specialized high school offer, you could still be on wait lists, right? You can accept your high school offer, and when you get the wait list, if you want that, you can accept that. But once you accept the wait list offer, you're done. And that's true of any school, even if it wasn't a specialized high school. So if you get into, say, Murrow, and then it brings up Townsend Harris, once you click on Townsend Harris on the wait list, Murrow is no longer your offer, right? You can only accept one offer. You can get multiple offers, but you can only accept one. All right? So it's tricky or whatever. Is there supposed to be an email for Bronx Science? Yes. So you're going to get a welcome email. Some of the schools, I believe York already sent out their welcome things. Brooklyn Tech traditionally is the worst at this. So sometimes, I remember in the past, it's actually taken them weeks to do this. That said, a bunch of the schools already announced their open houses for accepted students. You guys should definitely go to that. And the schools should be contacting you directly based on your offer from today. So if Bronx Science didn't do it today, hopefully they do it in the next few days, because you want to know the date of the open houses, right? So there's that. Yeah. Okay, and this person's position is a little worse because they're trying to get a 10th grade seat. And of course, if you don't hear back from your high schools, contact your guidance counselor. Even if you have a bad guidance counselor, they're the person who is supposed to be doing this stuff for you. In fact, they should have really have held a meeting with the students and kind of been telling you what I've been telling you guys. Does science usually send it out today? I can't remember that. I know tech doesn't. I believe STI is fairly fast, and I think Bronx Science is too. So, um, but like I said, if it's in 3 weeks, it's gonna take too long. Let me see here. The Bronx Science open house is going to be. Where did I put that? Okay, the Bronx Science open house is March 27th. So if you don't really get your email by March 20th, you're in a mess. So I would suggest that if you don't get the email by next Friday, today's the 7th, tomorrow's the 8th, so next Friday's the 15th. If you don't get your email by next Thursday, let's say, because if you do Friday, it's going to move into the next week again. So if you don't get your email by next Thursday, I would definitely contact your guidance counselor. You could also reach out to Bronx Science directly. Go onto their site and see who the parent coordinator is or the admissions officer, something like that. So Bronx Science is March 27th. Staten Island Technology is March 19th. STI's open house is March 20th. High School Math, Science, and Engineering is March 12th. Lehman posted theirs today. I think it was March 13th. They're having two of them. No, sorry. York. York is having two of them. I don't have that in front of me at the moment, but it's also this month. So far, all the open houses are this month. So you kind of can't wait till April 5th to do some of this stuff. And the open house is not a requirement, but if you're thinking of going there, it would be a good thing to go there and see what's going on and what they're going to tell you. And the open house is for accepted students. This is before you choose your offer. Once you choose your offer, there will be orientations, freshman orientations, usually over the summer. So it depends on the school. That's after you accepted your offer. And you'll get another email from them as well, because at that point you're going to have to set up an account for being, through one of these portals. Each school has a different portal, so, and sometimes you have to take placement tests to see which math class and stuff you're going to be put into. A lot of SHSAT students have already taken Algebra 1 and living environment and stuff like that. So, and some of them, when you go to the orientation, the one in the summer, you could also maybe sign up for a math team or something like that or whatever as well. So yeah, remember, you have to be proactive. So if they send it to you, then cool, you got it. But if they don't send it to you, don't just wait indefinitely. Give it a little wiggle room, like I said, until next Thursday. If you don't get it by next Thursday, definitely reach out to your guidance counselor and to the school, because both are going to end up mattering. Let's see here. What else we got going on here? What's this one? And it's complicated. There's a lot of stuff here. If we lived in the middle of nowhere, you would have to go to your zoned high school, which might be a few miles away. You might have to take a yellow bus to it because you might live in the middle of a farm. And we talk about bad opportunities in New York City, but we have so many amazing opportunities, right? We actually do have a lot. So we kind of should be respectful and glad for that, because it's not like there's no options. It's very competitive, though. I have a friend who lives in South Dakota. Actually, he's in Montana right now, but like he cannot believe what we even go through for kindergarten. He's like, don't you just go to your kindergarten? No, it's like you need a tutor now for kindergarten. Or a coach or whatever. It's pretty intense. What goes down here in New York City. That said, we have just such a plethora of opportunity that it's ridiculous, right? So yeah. So there's all that kind of stuff as well that you kind of need to meander through and jump through. And again, it's bad enough for somebody like me who's been doing this for years. You guys only have one shot to do it, it's now, and then you may have immigrant parents who either don't speak English, can't understand the DOE website, and nobody can. I think not even the DOE can understand their own website. And they actually have conflicting information on it. This year, that wasn't too bad. But like 2 years ago, there was just contrary information. It might say like offers on March 7th, and another link says offers on March 9th or something. It's like, bro, can you figure out when the offers are? Like, how do you making this discrepancy? And and some of it was misinformation. I think it was on purpose even. So, because there's just no reason for that. And if that was a business, the people running it would get fired. So, yeah. And by the way, if you guys are so hot on the specific schools, it is harmless to email them. And you can even email them anonymously if you don't want them to know who you are. Just find the right person, whoever the coordinator is or the administrator or whatever is happening, and just say, does an email happen and when does it happen or whatever. And what you can sometimes do too is Google what happened last year or the year before. Now that doesn't mean that's what's going to happen this year, but sometimes you can find some of the links and kind of piece together what the procedure and what that school kind of does through some of that stuff. And you might see dates. You might see, oh, Bronx Science did do it last year. Last year, I think Office came out on March 9th. So if you see something involving getting your email on March 9th or 10th, then that connects back up to that. So or somebody's posting a waitlist number 5 on Townsend Harris. That's interesting, but it also depends whether it's for 9th grade or 10th grade admissions. If I remember properly, Townsend Harris only has about 5, or had about 5, 10th grade positions, which means it's so tiny. There might even be years they do less. There might be years they do more, and there might even be years they do none, right? So, and that's also very elusive and deceptive. It's not clear how schools really decide that number. It's not clear where the DOE fits into these things and stuff like that. By the way, please like and subscribe. There's a whole bunch of people posting about having low Townsend Harris numbers. A lot. So basically, your guys' next step is, I would say, chill a day or two. If you're definitely absolutely set on your offer, or if you only have one offer, you'll have to do that. Remember, you can add yourself to wait lists, and really the sooner the better, because you're going to end up going into the back of the queue. At this point, this is not your automatic wait listings. This is after you've gotten the offers. And then waiting for the wait lists could take months, right? The fact that wait lists open today doesn't mean they're going to stop moving today. And what usually happens is somebody relinquishes the seat, and the process basically is that they send it to the first person in the line, and they have something like a week to respond to it. So if you think about that, it could take 10 weeks to go through 10 people. That's not very fast moving. At the same time, too, if you accept your offer, and also remove yourself on waitlists. So be careful removing yourself on waitlists, because if you're absolutely sure you don't want that certain school, remove yourself, because what you can do is free up a spot for somebody else. And it's not just removing that queue there, it's that delay I talked about. Because if you end up getting the offer and kind of not knowing it for a week, then everybody else is waiting for you to decline the offer. So why not just get yourself off the wait list on the first place? Now, you may not be sure. You might still be weighing it. That's a different choice. That's a different thing. Just remember, once you remove yourself from a wait list, you can add yourself back, but you're going to not go back to your original position. You're going to go back to the end of the line. Okay? And also note that your wait list lottery number will change in certain scenarios. So you guys should use that link I gave earlier to go to the DOE site and look up how waitlists work, and see which scenario the new lottery number matters. So there's certain scenarios where you don't get a new lottery number on a wait list, and there's certain scenarios where you do. I don't remember them enough, and I'm not going to make a mistake of saying which they are live. You can go to the website and see it right there. So all right, what is going down here? What I might do too, because I'm not sure you guys are still chatting here. You may have abandoned me. Let's see, where did that go? There's other years where I did like 3 of these, or there's also years where I just let them pack together or whatever. And actually, how long are we going so far on this thing? An hour and 12 minutes. All right, I'm going to process some messages and just see what you guys are doing. So again, congrats for everybody. This requires a lot of rigor, stamina, character. This definitely shows your character. And you guys are only 8th graders, so that's important. It'll be kind of a milestone in your life no matter what happened today. And like I said, builds character. And be proud of yourself. You guys are legends no matter what. This is so confusing, so complicated, so challenging. Even if you didn't take the SHSAT, you guys had to do videos, you had to do essays, create portfolios, go to auditions. Wow. Right? And hopefully you made fun of it. My own kids did that too. And my position was, we could look at this as a chore. We could look at this as confusing. We could look at this as a bear. We could look at this as upsetting. But if we take a positive outlook and just enjoy it, we're going to go to another school today. You're going to, my one daughter did clarinet, for instance, so you're going to do clarinet. My other daughter did singing or whatever. So we're just going to go and enjoy it, and it is what it is. And whatever happens, happens. Yeah, it's just awesome. And then it becomes something where the family enjoys as a unit, and it's great. I should have some music or dancing going on here, or crackling fire. Actually, I've done streams where I've done crackling fires. Uh, that was pretty funny, I thought. Stupid, but funny. And again, you guys can chat amongst yourself. So I used to do the live streams with consistently. So I haven't really done that in 2 years. So in a way, this was super surprise. I didn't even give a warning. I just did it. I got a new laptop here, and I'm just loading all stuff on it to see what happened. It actually worked fairly streamlessly. It did crash. I'm actually surprised it didn't crash yet. I'm not sure. It's a Mac M3, and this was supposed to be the streaming software for it, so I don't know why it's crashing. I also loaded what is this thing called? DaVinci or whatever, the DaVinci editor, and that's also crashing. So I suspect there's a library or something that they're both using that's causing it to crash. I have to find out why. Nothing seems to have gotten harmed yet, but I don't know. It's not good to have something crash. In fact, I'm not sure what happens if this crashes in the middle of the stream. I could probably just reconnect it back up because it's using the RTMP of the YouTube channel. Yeah, I don't think that would be a problem. All right, so nobody else is got anything to say? Because I might wrap this up. I'm not sure. Yeah, a lot of people keep asking about Townsend Harris. So that's the biggie here. Somebody's saying they got accepted into Discovery. What do they do next? So the way Discovery works is you get an invitation to it, and you need to apply. So you don't ask to be in Discovery. You're told you're in Discovery. Okay. You can decline to participate, but if you want to participate, you have to actually apply to it once you get the invitation. So basically, your guidance counselor is supposed to work with you on the application to get it correct. And there's a deadline for that. I think that's also April 5th. So if your guidance counselor does not reach out to you with the paperwork, there's certain paperwork that needs to be filled out, then you need to be proactive and reach out back to them. All right. So again, like I was saying before about the other thing, since the Discovery deadline is also April 5th, you got about a month. So you can't really wait 3.5 weeks and go like, oh, I don't know what to do about Discovery. You need to kind of wait a week, let your guidance counselor get caught up, because there might be, I don't know how big your middle school is, but there might be enough students, and give them about a week and see what they say. Hopefully they've emailed you already or contacted you or had a meeting with you. If not, you need to be proactive and go to them if you got a Discovery offer. And again, Discovery is already been decided. There are some rare extenuating circumstances cases. And if you want to know all the details of that, let's see. Let me get this off the screen. I did have this here. If you see this, GregsTutoringNYC.com says SHSAT-cutoffs. That also has, I didn't update the picture I just had on the screen a second ago with the cutoffs of this year, but it has last year's cutoffs and also has a description of what the cutoffs are. But if you go to GregsTutoringNYC.com /SHSAT Discovery, okay, let me post that into this here too. Let's see. let's see, do I still have this in that thing there? Yeah, okay, give me 1 second. I'm going to post the link to a link I have about Discovery. Let's see, nyc.com/SHSAT dash uppercase Discovery. So it's SHSAT dash Discovery at the end of it, but the word Discovery is in uppercase. And that will have a kind of a description of what Discovery is about, what its constraints are, how you get an offer of Discovery, and what to do when you accept with it. I don't have up-to-date documentation. I have a bunch of pictures that kind of show the process you need to go through once you get into Discovery. All right, so all right, please like and subscribe. Anybody have any questions? And by the way, the cutoff link that's on the bottom of the screen there, SHSAT-cutoffs, that also has a link to SHSAT-scoring, which kind of has a conversation about how kind of scoring works. I don't like to use the cutoff scores because they're, the way scoring works is it's a statistical process based on a number of parameters, like how many test takers are there, how many students do really well, what school you're asking for, how many test forums they use each year, right? There's not one SHSAT every year. There's like 20, and then there's also SHSAT 9 on top of it, which does not interact with the 8 ones, but there's all those dynamics involved. So I don't like to use the actual scores. I like to use raw percentages, either the raw count out of 57 or a percentage count out of that. So for argument's sake, if you told me, what is 350? Well, first of all, no school gets 350 offer, but it kind of doesn't mean anything. But if you told me I got 50% of the questions right, that means to me you got 50% of them wrong. And usually that's not good enough. So that makes more sense to me to talk about how many you got right or wrong than some score that is scaled up from the raw number. So I'd rather just work with the raw number or a raw percent. And it's really not until you hit, like 69% right that you start getting offers. The lowest cutoff score is traditionally Broken Latin. So that's what you guys are going to usually get from that. And that doesn't have to be that way, but that's the way it turns out to be. Most people ask for Stuyvesant, fewer people ask for Latin, and things like that. So that's why the cutoff score is lower. That's why one's higher. But again, it's other dynamics. How many test takers there were, how many top scorers there were, things like that. So the statistics of the score get queasy. They meander about. So it's not particularly a good idea. You guys should also know by now that the cutoff scores from year to year change. So, in a way, we should put no meaning onto it. But when you think, Sty this year had 561, what the heck does 561 mean? It has no meaning. There's none, zero meaning. And then if you go online and look at the conversion tables, they all give you different results, right? Now, I have my own, and I make assessments of my own students based on a couple of things. I'm not particularly going to talk about that here, but that's why we want to avoid it. And in fact, for the majority of my prep with students, we don't talk about cutoff scores because we're still learning and we're still getting there and we're still whatever. And again, if you're getting 50% of the questions wrong, we still have a lot of work to do. And then we get to you getting 40% wrong and then 30% wrong, right? So we're building up to a point where we're past 80% right. And that gives you enough wiggle room to start excelling, right? So once you break that 75% line, you're looking pretty, right? So that's kind of what we want out of a lot of this as well. All right. Okay, I'm going to set a line in the sand for 7 o'clock. It's 10 to 7. And see if anybody has any other questions. And even our SHSAT is dying out. Guess people are calming down. Most people got their offers. and they're probably eating dinner and maybe even doing homework. Hopefully, you guys didn't have homework today. That would be a little absurd. It's too an exciting a day, too an emotional day. 10%? No, this guy can't be making sense here. So talking about discovery, somebody's asking what is the acceptance rate out of discovery people, and somebody said it was 10%. No, that seems way wrong. Um, uh, and let me see if I'm reading this wrong because I'm talking to you guys. All right, what do we got going on here? Uh, nothing. Nothing. Are you guys gonna make me sing or something? You guys really gonna make me sing? Let's see. What is this guy doing? That's the live results. What is he asking me here? Somehow I missed that. Okay, let's see, I don't need that. Okay. It is 7 o'clock. There's 2 people watching. Anybody out there? Don't just sit in the lobby. And what I might do is end this. I might fire it back up later. Or even tomorrow. I canceled all my sessions today because days like this just gets too wild. So I have a bunch of catching up to do, but yeah, I get a good sleep myself. I'm passionate about this. I enjoy this. Okay. All right. I'm going to, let's see, this has different buttons than I'm used to. All right, I'm going to end the broadcast. Let's see, it's supposed to be, I just want to make sure YouTube does this right. Let's see, where are we? That says an hour 35. And what does this say? That also says an hour 35. So you went over an hour and a half. Nothing to sneeze at. All right. I'm not sure which button to click first, but I'm gonna click end broadcast and see what happens. All right, y'all. Best of luck. It was great working with so many, and not just my students, but everybody on our SHSAT. And I get so many emails a day anyway, not just on a day like this where people are asking me for advice and so on, which I'm glad to happen. You guys can always email me at the bottom, GregsTutoringNYC at gmail.com. Yeah.